Hey there, welcome to the locker room. Coach Arias here. Today's message is fun doesn't always get the job done. Fun doesn't always get the job done. I know we all like to have fun. We all want to do things that are cool. But sometimes you got to do what's necessary, and that means it's not always going to be fun. I've come across in life so many people that would love to be rich, they say. But they don't want to get rich. They like the be rich part. They like the cars. They like the houses. They like what it can do for you. But they don't want the getting rich part. Like what it takes to get there. They don't want no part of that. Isn't it great when you show up at somebody else's house and they cook you a nice meal and clean up the plates for you and they're just treat you like a great guest and you didn't have to shop for the food. You didn't have to cook the food or clean up the food. Well, that's great. That's fun. But in life, if we're making an analogy about life, you can have that once in a while, but most of the time, if you want anything great out of life, you're going to have to go to the store and get it yourself. You're going to have to cook that stuff yourself. You're going to have to clean up your mess when you're all done, because in life, we're going to have to do the work in order to get the outcome down the road. Think of fast food. Everything in life, people want a fast return right now. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to shop, cook, all that stuff, plan. Fast food. Fast food might get you a fast result today, but it'll put you in a world of hurting down the road because your health won't be in too good a shape if we eat fast food all the time. It might be quick, but typically, like anything else, if it's quick, if it's easy, a lot of times it turns out to be junk. Kids want to go to college, but they want to go out and not do their homework, for example. Or people want to hang out, but they don't want to work out, but they want all the things that come along with being in shape. Or people want to have time off and take time off, but then they want a certain outcome down the road. It boils down to pay now, pay the price now, or pay the price later. But either way, we got to pay the price. We got to figure out right now, what is it in life that you want? What is it going to take in order for you to get there? Think about those things, because everything's going to involve some form of sacrifice for a period of time. Often people want that outcome, but when it comes down to the get down, when it comes time to the sacrifice, they're not willing. Then they look down the road years later only to find the person who sacrificed living out their destiny and living out their dreams. Often they look back and they realize that person didn't have any more talent than them, didn't have anything more or better than them. They weren't any smarter. They just sacrificed a little bit to get them to where they needed to be, to where they wanted to be. For example, I've been coaching kids and talking to them about continuing their education. It's not always this case, but just an example. You know, kids go to school for 8, 10 years. A kid that doesn't want to go to school that long, what they may find out is 10 years later, the person that stayed in school for those 8, 10 years may be further along than them the first year that they get out, the second year that they get out of that school. Why? Why is that? Because that person chose to pay the price now in order to get paid later, to get paid down the road. The other person may think that they wanted to play now and then that they would end up getting paid down the road. But it doesn't work out that way. That's not the way it works. In order to get it, you got to give something up first. In my business, I have people come in all the time saying that it's too many hours or it's too much work. And they want to take the easy route, only to find out 5 years later that the person next to them has all kinds of time 5 years down the road, all kinds of success all 5 years down the road, because they sacrificed that short period of time. 5 years down the road, they created the balance in life and everything it is that they wanted. You're not a product of your circumstances. Oftentimes, we're a product of our decisions. What I've found after spending some time, I made friends with somebody that's a billionaire, is I found out that a billionaire in a completely different business had a similar work schedule the first 5, 7 years that he started to build his business. His wife told me that he worked 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for the first, I think she said 8 years that they started up this business. That's how he created, that's how he ended up being a billionaire. The beautiful thing that I admired is instead of making excuses, he made it happen. He made sacrifices. You would think that him and his wife weren't happy. Well, actually, they're 40 years married right now, happily married, with great kids, an awesome family, and the life that they've always dreamed of. I'm not saying following all these tips is going to make you a billionaire, but what I can tell you is that I've been around a lot of people that are successful in sports, in business, and in all different avenues of life, whether it's starting a youth program from scratch or being a billionaire in business. And all these people have one main thing in common, that not only did they want to be rich, and again, being rich doesn't mean just financially, they were willing to get rich. They were willing to get the job done. So remember, fun doesn't always get the job done. Get the job done, and then we can all have some fun. Do these things, we'll be on our way to living our very best life. Thanks for joining me this week in the Locker Room, gang. Looking forward to seeing you all next week.